Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Creative Adventures. I am making another fun batch of soap today. This one's going to be another new design. If you watched my last soaping video, I mentioned that I ordered a whole bunch of new fragrances from a new company called, well, not a new company, new to me. I had never ordered from Essential Depot before, not for fragrances anyway. So when I was making an order for shea butter and some other stuff that I do normally buy from them, I bought a bunch of fragrances just to test them out. Dragon's Blood, which was my last video, was one of those fragrances. This one's called Sun and Sand. I had no idea what this was gonna smell like. I kind of thought it would be really tropical, but I don't even really know how to describe it. I don't know that I would describe it as floral, but maybe? I don't really know. I can't really figure out what this smells like. It definitely does smell like light and airy. It doesn't really smell like ocean. Maybe it does smell kind of salty. I'm not real sure. If this is a floral, it's very likely to accelerate trace on me, so I'm gonna have to be careful about that. But I'm excited to try it. One of the things I also mentioned in my last video is that Essential Depot doesn't put any information about their fragrances on their webpage, so I don't know if this contains vanilla, I don't know if it's a floral, I don't know how much I'm actually supposed to use for this specific fragrance. They just give a general guideline for all of their fragrances, so I'm going with that. I'm excited to try it because it is a nice scent. It's definitely not something that's easy to pick out, but it smells very refreshing. It'll definitely be a really, really nice summer scent, and we are coming up on summer, so I decided to give it a shot. So today I'm using my big vertical mold. It's actually a 4-pound mold that I got from Brambleberry. If you remember the Sunshine soap that I made, it's a big vertical mold that has a divider in the middle of it, so you can pour 2 different colors of soap down each side, then pull the divider out, and then you have a divided bar of soap. So since this one is called Sun and Sand, I thought it would be fun to use this big mold and do half of it kind of a brownish color for sand, and then half of it a swirl of kind of blue and white. And for the sand, I have some calendula here. This is about a ½ ounce of calendula that I actually popped in my food processor and ground it down a bit so it's a little bit finer. And I'm gonna mix this into the sand side for some exfoliation, and it will hopefully give it some nice texture like it's actual sand. So for my colors today, these are both from Wholesale Supplies Plus. This is Silk Stocking Mica, and that's the color that I'm going to be using for the sand side. And then I've got some Celestial Blue Mica, which is what I'm going to be using on the sky side. And I've also got some titanium dioxide off camera to make some white so that I can do, I think I'm going to do just like an in the pot swirl and then pour that down one column of my vertical mold. Just like last time, I have already measured out all of my oils and my lye solution and also my fragrance oil, so we are ready to just jump in and get soaping. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention, this is not my standard soap recipe. This is actually the recipe for the Sunshine soap from Soap Queen. I'm just modifying it a little bit for my needs. That recipe is primarily rice bran oil and coconut oil with a little bit of palm oil, castor oil, and some shea butter. It's a really nice recipe. And as I mentioned, this is a 4-pound mold. So I'll have the recipe for this on my blog. The link for that will be in the description below, so definitely go check that out. And yeah, let's get soaping. Let me get my gloves on here. They are all black because I actually filmed this the same day. I am filming this the same day that I actually filmed the Dragon's Blood soap, so I have activated charcoal all over my gloves, but that's okay. These have been sitting out for quite some time. My oils are at 97, my lye water's at 95. That is perfect. These a good stir. Now, first thing I'm going to do, as always, is mix some sodium lactate into my lye water over here. You definitely, let's see, and I need 3 teaspoons for this batch. You definitely don't want to skip this step if you're using this vertical mold, because this mold is not silicone. It is like, I think it's an acrylic sided mold. So it's definitely harder to get your soap unmolded from these hard sided molds. So I want to make sure that my bar gets nice and hard so that I can unmold it at least a little bit easier. So don't skip the sodium lactate for this one. Okay. Lye water going in. Now I don't want this to get real thick on me because I'm pouring it in this long vertical mold, so I want it to stay nice and fluid. So I'm only going to be mixing this to emulsification to split it up into some separate containers. The fragrance oil, because I'm not sure if it's a floral, I will probably just mix that in by hand because I have no idea how fast that's going to accelerate my batch. So let's get this up to emulsification, and then we will split it up into some separate containers. We are nice and emulsified, so, all right, set that off to the side for now. Now, I know that this makes about 8 cups, so I'm going to split off about half of that. And then this one, I'm gonna put about 2 cups. And then that should leave me with about, it's a little over 4 cups in this one, so I'm gonna put some of that back in here. So I've got about 4 cups in here. I've got 2 cups in here, and I should have about 2 cups in here. And you know what? I just changed my mind. I don't think I want this much blue. So I'm gonna pour just a little bit back in here. Just a tad. I'm just being weird right now. That's all this is. Okay. So I'm going to put titanium dioxide in this one. I'm going to put my celestial blue in this one. I'm going to put my tan in this one. Let's go ahead and start with my tan. We need to move quickly here. So I'm going to probably go with a teaspoon in here. And I might add some titanium dioxide just to make it a little more opaque. I'm not sure. Just dawned on me that I haven't done my white yet, so I'm gonna have to go rinse this because, yep, didn't think about that, did I? All right, there's our tan. Let's go ahead and mix our titanium dioxide in this, and then we'll do our blue. I'm gonna just start with a half a teaspoon on this blue because I have no idea how dark it's gonna be. Okay, that is all the mixing I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna scrape this off into here. I can tell this is getting thick already, and I haven't even put the fragrance in, so I need to get moving. I'm not gonna put any of my fragrance into this white because I have no idea if it's gonna discolor, so I'm gonna put a little bit in there and the rest in the tan. And I'm just gonna take my spatula and mix that in by hand. Now I've done an in the pot swirl before, which is what I'm gonna do with this blue and white. So I'm just gonna start pouring. You basically drop your color in at 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. And then you take your spatula and swirl. And you don't want to overdo it because then your colors will just get muddy. Now in this pot, I'm going to add my calendula, and I don't know that I'm going to add all of it. I may only add a quarter of that, or a half of that. Nope, I'm going to go ahead and add all of it. So when I made the sunshine soap, I added a 1/4 ounce of calendula to the exfoliating side. But I didn't grind it down, I left the petals whole Since I grinded them down, it actually shrunk the, you know, the actual physical volume of them. So I went ahead and ground up a 1/2 ounce, and I think that was the right decision. Okay, we're ready to pour. All right. Ooh, I'm making a mess. Of course I am. I'm gonna have to finish this up one at a time. How much did I spill? Oh, that's not too bad. I thought for sure I spilled more than that. All right. My container, a good scrape here. Try to get the last of that out. Yeah, I know you can't see anything right now. I can't wait to see how this one looks. I think it's gonna be really neat. Now, the final step of this is to remove this divider in the middle. I, of course, have already lost the pin to it, so I just used a toothpick and it fit perfectly. So I'm going to try to save as much of the soap on the divider as I can. So I'm gonna pull this out very slowly and try to scrape down each side as I go. This is what I did last time as well. And you want to try to pull straight up. I know that I'm not. That's okay. I tried. Man, I make a really big mess using this mold, that's for sure. It's definitely, now that it's like in the soap, definitely smells floral, so. I mean, it did accelerate some, but it wasn't too bad. Now, I'm going to give this a nice good tap. And I'm going to use my spatula to try to smooth down this end piece just a bit. The end piece on this mold is always kind of ugly, but that's okay because the end pieces are always for me. All right. I cannot wait to see what this one looks like. So I'm gonna go set this in my craft room, lock the room up so nobody can get in and mess with it, meaning cats and dogs. And we will come back. This mold usually has to sit a little longer to unmold, so it may be a couple of days before I can unmold this one. But we will be back as soon as I can and see what the cut looks like on the inside. Hey guys, welcome back. We are ready to cut the sand and the sea. So this is still just a tad bit soft, so I'm trying to be super careful with it. However, can we see just how awesome this is going to be? Even from the outside, I am so pleased with this loaf of soap. I just have a feeling the cut's going to be amazing. I know you're supposed to wait a few days to unmold with that mold, and I just got impatient. It's been, let me look at my clock. It's been about 32 hours since I molded this one up, so my corners are still just a tad bit soft, but I was able to get it out of the mold cleanly, so I'm hoping that I don't mess it up because I am super stoked with how clean this one came out. And how much this did, this just did exactly what I was hoping it would do. So let's get to the cut so you can see what I mean. I'm gonna have to turn it around this way though. All right, here we go. Look at that. Oh my God, I am so pleased with this. I am so pleased. You know what? This smells like laundry. This smells like freshly done laundry. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Like you've got clothes hanging out on the line. It smells really nice and crisp and clean. Like if there were like a clean cotton fragrance, that's kind of what I would expect this to smell like. So it is definitely a crisp, clean scent. I'm really happy with how my sand and my sea turned out though, like for real. I could not be happier with that. Is that gonna make anybody else crazy? Just me? Just me? And here's what my end piece looks like. I actually think this kind of looks cool too. This will be my bar that I use for myself. Won't be giving that away or anything, but I think it still kind of looks cool. It looks like a very like frothy little beach or something. So yeah, so there is my cut of Sun and Sand, or Sand and Sun, I don't know, I can't remember. I will make sure I get the name of it right on my blog, and I will link my blog in the description below, and there I will have the recipe that I used along with all of the different colors and the fragrance and links to where you can buy them if you would like to. If you watched my last video, you will remember that this is my first time using fragrances from Essential Depot. I mostly stuck with their recommendation of how much to use. I think I did just a tad bit more, because it was still less than I would normally use with fragrance oils from other companies, and I just wasn't sure how strong they would be. But let me tell you, these fragrances are super, super strong. I'm glad I didn't use the normal amount that I would have with other brands, because it wouldn't have needed it. Both this fragrance and the Dragon's Blood that I did in the last video were super strong, even at lesser amounts. So that is really promising. I like both of these fragrances. This one, I wasn't real sure if it was a floral or not. I was having a hard time telling straight out of the bottle. Now that it has gone through the saponification process, it actually smells like a crisp, clean cotton fragrance. It smells like laundry, clean laundry, hanging out on the line to dry. So maybe that's where the name came from. It's definitely like a clean, very clean scent. I have a feeling this would be a very popular scent. Personally, it is not my favorite for the kind of scents that I like, but that's just because it's just a personal taste. It is a nice fragrance though, and it's nice and strong, and it's coming through really well in this soap. I'm super happy with how these turned out though, you guys. I can't wait to take pictures of these in good lighting, and I'll pop those up at the end of the video as usual. But yeah, so stay tuned for more videos about soap and cooking and any other crazy projects I decide to take on. I recently came up with a logo and a labeling and packaging process for my soaps because I had to, because somebody ordered a whole crap load from me. So I'm planning to do a video in the future on how I do my packaging and how I came up with that design. So stay tuned for that. If you've got suggestions for future videos or future projects I should take on, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear from you. And we'll see you next time on Creative Adventures.